Hey everybody, it's Eric from EPautos.com, your libertarian car guy. They just dropped off the 25 Subaru Forester, which has got an updated exterior for the new model year, and I'll have more about that in a little bit. The thing that I wanted to talk about was something I came across that I thought was interesting, and it has to do with depreciation rates, and specifically with the depreciation rates of electric vehicles. And one model in particular topped the list, which I thought was remarkable, and that model is the Lexus, and I kind of say that to italicize it orally, the Lexus RZ, which is an EV. And what's interesting about that, at least to me, is that Lexus has historically, at least for the past, 30 plus years, been one of the best brands as far as low depreciation, because Lexus vehicles have a great reputation for lasting a long time. So why is this Lexus EV depreciating so startlingly, to the tune of a loss of 55% of its original value when it was new over the course of 5 years, which is just astonishing. That works out to about $4,000 a year, works out to about $330 a month that you're losing if you were to buy this thing. Well, there's a number of reasons, and the first is that it's an EV. And EVs in general just lose value faster because they are EVs. And what do I mean by that? Well, to get into it a little bit more, they have these battery packs, which if regularly discharged and then subjected to fast charging, tend to have a shorter life. And of course, the battery is a very expensive thing to replace. In addition to that, there's this kind of related synergistic problem of the weight that is entailed when you own an EV. Unless you go to a fast charger, you're going to have to wait for a long time. And even if you do go to a fast charger, you're still going to have to wait. But in order to make an EV even a little bit practical, you pretty much need to go to these fast chargers, right? Well, it's, as they say, a Hobson's choice, because in exchange for getting back on the road a little bit faster, you're going to end up with a shorter battery life. The alternative to that is having to wait around for hours or overnight to get your EV back in a condition where you can drive it any appreciable difference. And that's a problem, isn't it? So people who are aware of this tend not to want EVs, and of course people who are aware of the battery issue tend not to want a used EV, because how are you to know whether this 5-year-old EV's battery is going to last another 5 years? There's really no way to know that. You might get in the thing after 5 years as the putative second purchaser, and hey, it seems to be holding a charge, but the way battery chemistry works is that all of a sudden it might not. If you have a laptop or a phone, you know all about that. Your laptop or your phone might be just fine this week, has no problem being fully charged and holding the charge, and then the following week, all of a sudden, the thing just loses its charge almost immediately, it seems like, and no matter how much you charge it up, it just won't hold the charge. And bad enough with a laptop or a phone, you're talking at the most $1,500 or so for a laptop, and maybe half that much for a phone. It sucks, but it's not catastrophic. On the other hand, if you've got an electric vehicle and now you're looking at having to spend $10,000 or $15,000 on a new battery, yeah, no thanks. So that's the other reason why people tend not to want an EV, and that is why they tend to depreciate so rapidly. And I think another reason is that even a Lexus EV, it's still just an EV. In other words, it's not really a Lexus, is it? Because a battery pack that's probably made in China is a battery pack. Electric motors are electric motors. It's not like with other Lexus models where, in the past, for example, the Lexus LS sedan, one of the things that made it such a desirable vehicle is because of the V8 that it had, which would last essentially forever with good care. Same with the excellent V6 engine that Toyota has been using for a long time, decades, in models like the RX 350, which, by the way, has the lowest depreciation of luxury badge crossovers, and also the Camry before Toyota pulled the V6 out of that one. The point is that there really isn't much meaningful difference other than the badge between a device that is sold under the Lexus label and a device that is sold under Mercedes label, or for that matter under Tesla or any other label. A device is a device, a battery pack is a battery pack, electric motors are electric motors. So who wants to pay a premium price for the badge. I made this point privately to a rep at Mercedes-Benz after they decided to pull my press car privileges, I think because I was honest about my experience driving some of their devices in terms of the problems with range and recharge times and all of that. And I tried to explain to the Mercedes guy, look, dude, at the end of the day, you have lost your Mercedes-ness if you guys just go to selling devices, because who cares? The fact that you have a big 3-pointed plastic star on the face of your device doesn't really give you anything meaningful for the price, does it? Relative to a Hyundai device, for example, that pretty much does the same thing. Whereas, once upon a time, Mercedes vehicles like Lexus vehicles were justly held in high esteem because of their superbly engineered drivetrains that just made them what they were. We're losing that with these EVs. Anyway, that's just a short little summary of the longer article that I'm going to have up at EPautos.com tomorrow, which if you're interested, I hope you'll swing by and check out, and I'll also have more about this 25 Forester as well. And there's also something up right now, if you're interested, that has to do with the increasingly exorbitant cost of car insurance and how that problem might be addressed. So, thanks as always for listening, and we'll have more for you again soon.